Yeah. Okay, Jeff, nice to meet you in real life, because we had a phoner in this spring.
Oh, okay.
But it's a bit time gone by, passing by.
It's different when you finish a record and you're in the studio and you're writing, and then you go on tour, two completely different times. That's for sure.
So thank you for taking the time to talk with me. I have some questions I wanted to ask you.
Sure.
First one is that you're now on the road for nearly 30 years. Next year, I think...
89. 89 is when we started touring.
89.
First album, Alice in Hell, 89, and touring. But the band was... I had it going... A lot of the songs were written around 85, 86.
Okay, so you have some more years.
Not 30 yet.
Yeah,
25. 25 sounds better.
Okay, 25 sounds better. But also after 25 years, not tired yet?
No, trying to get more and more touring and trying to... Oh, yeah. It's fun. I mean, especially as you get older and you do more shows and more albums and you're lucky enough to get record deals and do well in some countries in the world, you start to appreciate it more, for sure.
Okay, cool. Next one is that in this last 30 years, the world changed.
25.
25. Oh, sorry. I'm
no, that's good.
25.
That's okay.
You always tell me if I'm wrong.
That's all right.
If you look back to these 25 years,
yeah,
how did you undergo the modifications of the music business, the thing you were in?
Annihilator's, just another metal band. There's so many good metal bands that were around in the 80s and 90s, and now we got lucky, we had hard work, some good songs, some good albums, some okay. Just like every band that's been around for a long time, you have your real good creative moments when you're writing, and sometimes you think they're good and later you realize, it could have been better. So we have our ups and downs like every band that's been around for a long time. But yeah, you have to adapt. We're just really lucky that we have a following, sort of almost an underground following, that is always there. We have fans that like Annihilator for the heavy music that we do. They like another group that likes us for our more melodic music. And then we have fans that like both styles, the combination. So when we lose some of the heavy fans and more melodic albums, we get more on the other side, and it's like a balance, and I think that's been a very important thing. Also, I think to describe Annihilator, even though my influences of other bands is very obvious, and I say them in interviews for 25 years, who my favorite bands are and where I get my influences from, we still, the number one name or word that describes Annihilator, I think, is diversity. We've had different singers, different lineups, different album styles, songwriting styles. We've had heavy metal, classic metal, Maiden, Priest, Randy Rhoads, Ozzy, a bit of AC/DC. We've had that kind of heavy metal style from the 80s. We've had the thrash influence from the Bay Area bands in the mid-early 80s. The Metallica, Slayer, Exodus, Anthrax, first records. And then we've got a bit of blues, a bit of all these other things. So you're going to get a lot of diversity with each album, and you'll like some records and you might not like some other ones.
So, but you have always some that you can like. That's
very, very lucky. I mean, there's bands like Slayer and AC/DC who are actually, I had to, in an interview I did for this Feast album, I was asked, what are your favorite bands of all time, your top three? And that's difficult because I love Metallica, the first four albums. But I put it number 1 Slayer, number 2 AC/DC, number 3 Van Halen. I want to put Metallica at 4th and Exodus and that, but there's just so many different styles in the music. But bands like Slayer, AC/DC have had great success with the same sound and the same style. I mean, they tried a little different things, but basically, you know, the AC/DC and the Slayer sound and style is always going to be constant, and that's why they're great bands. Annihilator was completely opposite. We just messed things up right away. We've had first 4 records we did, Alice in Hell, Never Never Land, Set the World on Fire, King of the Kill, were all very big records. King of the Kill was a big one in some continents, and Set the World on Fire in other places, in Japan. Never Never Land was the biggest one ever for us. Alice in Hell was very big in Europe. There was 4 singers on the first 4 records.
Yeah.
So that's not really a normal situation, but we got the fans, so we're really lucky.
That's okay. You also you feed your fans. If I look in this year, there was a first feast in August with this Rekill bonus CD.
Yep.
Then you re-released 3 of your big albums, All For You, Schizo Deluxe, and Annihilation, the double live.
Double one, yeah. I
Why?
can't remember. There's too many of them.
Yeah. That's what I want to ask you. Why this Annihilator music tsunami this year?
Well, the reissues of the old albums were because they weren't available. So people would always say, we can't find these albums. This is actually the reason why I got off my ass and found deals for some of the old songs, CDs, was this album, Schizo Deluxe, 2005 record, and the label at the time, AFM Records, when it was released, the president of the record company had died in a car crash before this. So it was a very sad time. The label was messed up at the time, of course, because the boss died. Sad thing for his family and the label and us, but that was actually, Schizo Deluxe was the favorite record with Dave Padden from me and Dave. Dave and I's favorite record. And the album didn't really get heard. Didn't get much attention. So I wanted to, on a personal reason, I wanted to get that album reissued. And then I realized some of the other albums, fans couldn't get them. So we're reissuing the old ones. But on the bonus CD on our new CD called Feast, Dave and I just basically, I might have explained it to you in our previous interview, but saying it really quickly, we didn't want to redo any old songs because you can never make them as good as the original. But we thought it'd be good for our new fans who cannot find the old CDs to hear the way we're going to play. It might sound with Dave singing them live.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun to do, but yeah, it would never be as good as the original, but it's fun to do. I'd never charge money for it or make fans pay money for it, but it's great as a free bonus.
Yeah, it's a cool bonus CD. I have a friend, he told me to ask you, why didn't you put Phantasmagoria on this bonus CD?
Yeah, there was so many songs. I mean, Annihilator has had, on records, has probably had 150 songs.
Mm-hmm.
So choosing them is difficult.
Okay. I have 2 other questions from this friend of mine that I'll ask you now. He's a big fan of the Metal Cruise. He's there since many years, and he's asking, will you be back in 2040 at the Metal
I think
Cruise?
I'll always be there, either hosting the Jam, All-Star Jam, putting together a lot of the musicians, maybe 20 or 30 of the bands playing. We'll grab some of the musicians and we do all cover songs, Ozzy, Priest, Slayer, rock and roll, thrash metal, heavy metal. I think I'm doing that this year, 2014, and then Annihilator will come back 2015 and play again.
As Annihilator?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have a look. Last question from this same mysterious man. The actual Annihilator lineup, is it the best ever?
No. I think for me the best ever was. Now this is personal opinion because fans have many different opinions. Mine is the Never Never Land tour, and that is my favorite record, biggest selling record. I think the best songs. I wish I could play the whole album live. It would be great. For example, Dave Padden is a much better singer than the singer on Never Never Land, Coburn Farr. But at the same time, Coburn had the perfect voice for that CD. So nobody else would have done as good a job as Coburn. Same with the drummer, Ray Hartman, and the touring lineup was... I played all the bass and guitars on the records, but it was just something magic about that time and the people in the band. And I'd say the next... You know, there's different... That was the best for me. The rest are there's different levels. The next one I remember being fantastic was Set the World on Fire, because we had Mike Mangini, Dream Theater, Extreme, Steve Vai, Annihilator. You had just some fantastic musicians on that tour. And then the lineup we have right now is the most... the funnest to tour with. Right now everybody's sick. We have a cold, so we don't look like we're having fun, but off stage. But this is the most where it feels like a band. So that's a different best.
Yeah, different best. Okay. This gig here in Winterthur is about the 10th of the actual tour. You will have 15 more. What will you do at the 9th November this year?
What will I do when?
Yeah.
At the end?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I think we finish in Helsinki, then the support band, the Generals, they leave, go home. Then we, actually, instead of flying, we're going to take a train this time. Nice train to St. Petersburg, play there.
Yeah.
Then train it to Moscow, play there. It's going to be some big shows and a lot of fun. And then after that, we fly to Istanbul, play another big show there.
Yeah.
And let me see. And then we get to go home. And then we'll... I might go to Japan and do some guitar clinics for Gibson and Epiphone. Okay. But other than that, we'll be time off through Christmas. 70,000 tons of metal coming up.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we're talking to tons of bands like Slayer and Megadeth and other bands just to see if we can come on as special guest and do some dates with them. So hopefully that works out.
Okay.
And then tons of festivals.
Yeah.
2014 we're booked. It's going to be the funnest summer.
Okay, what kinds of festivals here in Europe? Where can we see Annihilator next
I think
year?
there's at least 10 booked already. I don't remember the names of all of them, but Hellfest, Sweden Rock, just some really good ones. Small ones and big ones, so should be fun.
Cool. Well, we have a look. Another question, totally out of music. If you would have to change your job tomorrow, what could you imagine? What profession?
Well, I think
choose?
if it was tomorrow, that's different than my answer if I was 20. If I was 20, I'd want to be a fighter pilot.
Yeah.
Or work on fighter planes, jets. But I'm too, my brain is too scrambled. I think of too many things at the same time, which is good for songwriting. But I could never be a pilot, but I wish I was. I think, let me see, realistically... Well, I mean, it would be in music. If it was in music, it would be a mix engineer, mixing people's albums. I do mix now, but it's something that I would have, if I had to change careers now, it's a little late in your career because your ears, everybody's ears start going down once you hit your 40s. They start really going down. But if it was 20 years ago and you asked me the question, I would say full-time mix engineer.
Okay. Fine. Or jet pilot.
What else?
That's okay. I have,
That's good
two ideas. What about being a Prime Minister of Canada?
No, wouldn't work.
Or even better, President of the USA?
No, it wouldn't work.
No chances.
No chance.
Canadian.
I don't know enough about things. I'm not very well educated in most things, but music, traveling, meeting people, that's good enough education for me.
Okay.
Traveling and meeting so many people and traveling around the world playing music is more experience than you could probably learn in any school. So.
Okay. To live a musician is not that easy for family. How do you manage this? You told about the tour and all the concerts and festivals next summer. Lots of time on tour and
no, I'm okay because we haven't really done worldwide touring and worldwide success. We've only had, we put a record out, then we have success in certain countries and places, but not everywhere. So I haven't had to tour all year, 2-year tours like many bands. A lot of bands sign record deals where really the record company owns almost all the rights to everything. So they put the bands out on tour for 2 years. And they tour North America and Europe and Japan and Asia and South America and back to... And they keep going for 2 years. I've always been lucky to stay away from that kind of deal and still get record deals. And so I don't have to go and kill myself all year round. Even still, it's tough to, to have a family when you're going away all the time. But I've been very lucky. I've had good family, parents, people behind me. I raised an 18-year-old son now pretty much by myself for the last 16 and a half years. His mother died of cancer when he was young. So, you make it work. You just do what you have to do. And I have good parents and good sister and family around me to help out. Otherwise, I could never travel.
Yeah.
No, it's not too bad. And plus, I don't drink alcohol anymore. Picked up a little cigarette habit, which is terrible. But no drugs, no alcohol for 14 years.
Okay.
15 years now, almost. So music keeps you young, but you got to eat right and stay away from the bad things.
Okay, that's also a thing that changed, I think, between the 70s and the 80s. The kind of how musicians live, and they have to be fit for a tour.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think you should be fit. You should be working out. You should be exercising. I got a cold. You have to wear jackets and hoodies and stuff because, you get into the venue, it might be cold. You get outside, it's warm. Get on the tour bus, air conditioning. It's all... You got to be healthy, but I think it's more important to stay away from the real big problems. If you can just stay away from, the booze and the drugs and cigarettes, which I'm guilty of right now, and try to eat well and drink lots of water, you can get through it. Your body can handle it, and get some sleep. But if you're doing drugs or drinking, that's just a recipe for disaster, I think.
Okay, so let's come to the end of our little session. I would like to give you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 6 or 7 keywords, and would play.
First reaction?
Yeah. And short.
First thing that comes to my head, you mean?
Yes, I'm sure.
Right.
The first one is Royal Canadian Mounted Police.
First thing that comes to my brain is home, because I live in Ottawa, Canada, and that's where the big Parliament buildings and the Mounties, the RCMP, Royal Canadian Mounted Police, always put on a show every summer. So we always go and watch it for fun. It's funny. It's fun.
It's funny.
Canadian tradition.
Okay, next one is Justin Bieber.
Whew. I don't know how his career has lasted so long, because usually the teen stars like that fade away and burn out after 2, 3, 4 years. But he's Canadian. He's making money. What can you say? You can't really say anything. I can't even say anything bad. Good for him.
Okay. So we go.
No, I don't own a CD.
Okay.
And my kid never owned a CD too. That's good news.
Okay, that's right. So we go a little bit more south, and what about Miley Cyrus?
Just don't really. No opinion.
No opinion.
No.
Okay.
Good for her. Have fun.
All right. Master of Puppets.
Fuck. That's a tough one. My favorite Metallica records are 1 to 4. Justice is my favorite. Second, Master Puppets. Third, Ride Lightning. Fourth favorite, Kill 'Em All. So I guess second favorite.
Okay. King of the Kill.
Surprise. It was a big surprise because, again, that was the 4th album, 4th singer. I was singing. And my girlfriend and my songwriting partner, who helped me write the song Alice in Hell, his name's John Bates, they were sitting with me, and they said, "Why don't you sing?" And I said, "Well, me, I can't sing." And they said, "Well, you always sing on the demos to give to your singer. Why don't you sing?" And I said, "I can't sing. I couldn't sing and play guitar on tour. It's impossible." And I tried it, and I worked very hard. I was in very good shape then, and I was running every day and biking, and it was a big surprise. That was one of our biggest records ever. And I had, sorry. But yeah, King of the Kill was a big surprise because it was, my first time singing. I did not think the record would do well. I was very, not scared, but I thought kind of with a smile that maybe this was the end of our career. Just because that metal in 1994 was kind of going down everywhere. And it looked like there was no labels that wanted to sign us in 1994 in North America. So I sang on the record, and we got 2 big record deals in Europe and Japan. And I realized, oh no, I have to learn how to play guitar and sing these songs in concert. So I worked so hard, and it wasn't so good at the beginning on the first tour, but after one tour I really started to get better. And it was a huge surprise to have that. Basically, that was one of our biggest records it was our biggest record in Japan. So it was something else to be playing for 10,000 people in Japan and playing guitar and singing. It was not what I wanted to do, but it happened.
It happened. Okay. 2 more. Beer.
Love it.
Love it.
Don't drink it anymore. I loved it too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And Switzerland.
Lake in Zurich. Beautiful.
Okay.
Reminds me of Vancouver, Canada. I think the nicest 3 cities in the world, I think, are Vienna, Zurich, and Vancouver.
Okay, cool. So, thank you very much for your time. Wishing you a good gig and keep on rocking.
We will. We'll have lots of coffee tonight, and
okay.
Our singer Dave is very sick, so we're worried about that because he was sick in his stomach all night, and he's just dead right now. So we have our friend Schmear from Destruction's going to come up and maybe sing a few songs to help, and hopefully it's a good crowd so we can get them to sing for Dave. So
okay, hoping the best.
Yeah, when you get sick on a tour bus, you get a cold or a stomach flu. One person gets it, goes to the next person, and for 2 weeks, people are sick everywhere. So
okay,
I'm gonna go eat my oranges and take my vitamins.
Yeah, that's good. Hoping you're.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Smoke my unhealthy cigarette. Awesome record.